What's up everyone, it is Sacred Saiyan here, welcoming you back for another video. Before we get into this video, I know I haven't promoted it in a while, so I might as well. In the description of the video is a link to my Discord server if you want to join that. You can talk to me and my community, grind roles and a bunch more. Also, there will be a community post coming out tomorrow by me, which could potentially push my content to be better depending on who responds to it, so make sure you are looking out for that tomorrow. Also, if you end up liking today's video, then please consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Last time on What If Vegito Stayed Fused, we explored what would happen during the Buu Saga and Battle of Gods. In today's episode of What If Vegito Stayed Fused, we're going to be covering what happens during Resurrection F. Frieza's men would still head to Earth and use the Dragon Balls to revive Frieza. However, this time, they are far from being unnoticed. Gohan had sensed them as soon as they arrived on the planet, and after seeing the sky go dark, he knew that whoever those people he sensed were, they were looking for the Dragon Balls. Gohan flies to the scene, but he is too late. He can just see a Frieza Force ship leaving the atmosphere, and Gohan is pretty sure he knows what happened. He flies towards Piccolo and he sees Goten and Trunks being trained by him. Gohan explains to them all what happened and he suspects Frieza is now alive. And even though Goten and Trunks aren't worried in the slightest, as they have only heard about him being beaten by Goku, Gohan and Piccolo are a bit nervous. Frieza didn't even try against them on Namek and he was easily beating them. Obviously they are far stronger than Frieza is now, but Gohan knows Frieza isn't dumb. There is a potential risk of Frieza coming back to Earth and being far stronger than before, but even if he is still as weak as he was back then, they need to be on high alert anyway, because Frieza could easily blow up the planet when they're not paying attention. On Frieza's ship, Sorbet is explaining to Frieza about how Goku and Vegeta seem to have disappeared when Buu was awoken. However, a new Saiyan appeared and treated Buu like he was nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Frieza chuckles as he thinks Goku and Vegeta died to Majin Buu, however he is worried about this new Saiyan. Sorbet says that this new Saiyan even battled against Lord Beerus himself, and a drop of sweat rolls down Frieza's face. Frieza asks if Goku's son is still alive, and Sorbet says he is. Frieza regains his composure, and he says if he can't get his revenge on Goku, he will get it on his son. So, he tells his men to head back to Earth, but they advise he doesn't. Frieza asks if they question his power, and they say of course not, but Goku's son was training with that new Saiyan a lot, and could be an issue for Lord Frieza. With the threat of both Goku's son and a new Saiyan, Frieza decides to train for 4 months, and he does end up achieving his golden form just like in canon. And his form does still have the stamina issue, which Frieza is unaware of. Frieza's army make their way to Earth, and Gohan senses this instantly. Gohan can tell Frieza is stronger, but he isn't sure what form he is in. Piccolo suggests trying to contact Vegito on Beerus World, but Gohan says that they won't need him. Gohan is still cocky in this story, since he didn't get that training from Piccolo to not be. He has also been training with Vegito, who is even more cocky than himself, so that would rub off on him as well. Frieza arrived with his army, and this time Goten and Trunks are allowed to fight the soldiers as well. The soldiers are defeated with no difficulty, and even the elite soldiers are taken out by Goten and Trunks with ease. Frieza tries to shoot a death beam at Piccolo, but Gohan quickly puts his hand in the way, completely blocking the beam and not taking any damage from it. Frieza would smirk, transforming into his final form, and he would begin to battle Gohan. In base, Gohan seems to be evenly matched with Frieza, maybe even slightly stronger. This leads Frieza to transform into his golden form, and he thinks Gohan will be shaking in fear, but Gohan just lets out a smirk. Frieza is confused, and then Gohan transforms into his ultimate form. Frieza is even more confused as there is no visible difference to Gohan, and he just begins to laugh. Gohan can't even become a Super Saiyan. Gohan then gut punches Frieza when he isn't expecting it, and he slams him into the ground. Frieza realizes his mistake and he begins to charge at Gohan, and they begin to clash fists. Frieza begins to fire death beams at Gohan, but Gohan smacks them all away with ease. Gohan then fires a Masenko at Frieza, which Frieza narrowly dodges, and he then uppercuts Gohan. Frieza is beginning to get exhausted, and it seems his golden form is getting weaker. Gohan then decides to let Frieza in on a little secret. He isn't even at full power. Frieza is shocked as Gohan begins to power up even further, making his power far outclass Frieza's. This scares the tyrant so much that he goes to his last resort and he blows up Earth. Vegito was sensing the entire fight on Beerus World and he tells Whis they need to get there now. Vegito and Whis arrive and they see what remains of Earth. Whis says he can reverse time, but Vegito will need to act fast to stop Frieza from blowing up the Earth. Vegito agrees, and Whis reverses time to when Frieza is about to attempt to blow up the planet. Vegito comes behind Goten and Trunks, and he tells them to quickly fuse into Gotenks and quickly put a galactic donut around Frieza. There's no time to ask questions. They do so, and when Frieza is about to blow up the planet, he is caught by a galactic donut thrown by Gotenks, and he is sent out of his golden form. Gohan looks and he sees Vegito standing next to Gotenks. Vegito says that Frieza would have blown up the Earth if he didn't intervene. Gohan let his arrogance blind him to the scummy tactics of Frieza, and that would have cost everyone their lives. Gohan takes this to heart, and he looks at Piccolo, and he can tell that Piccolo agrees with Vegito. Vegito picks up Frieza by the head, and he stares into his eyes. He then powers up into Super Saiyan Blue just to assert his dominance over Frieza, and he then stabs Frieza through the chest with a spirit sword. The light begins to fade from Frieza's eyes, and then Vegito throws Frieza into the sky and finishes him off with a final Kamehameha, leaving no remains of Frieza. Vegito walks over to Gohan, and he then tells him that he is strong, but he needs to remember that his enemies aren't just going to play fair. Gohan should know that by now. Frieza blowing up Namek, Cell self-destructing, Boo absorbing people. Gohan apologizes, and he says that he will train with Piccolo to solve that issue. He realizes that even though Vegito is cocky, he isn't a dumb fighter. He knows what the people he is up against are going to do, and he uses that against them. However, Gohan knows he does not have that skill, and he won't be able to learn it, so the best thing to do is to get rid of his cocky side of himself. If something like that happened again, it will cost him his family and the entire Earth. Vegito tells Gohan to keep up his training, and he then teleports to Bulma and Chi-Chi and talks to them. Vegito then teleports back to Whis, and they head back to Beerus World. Deep in space, Champa and Vados are flying around, searching for the Super Dragon Balls. Vados says that they should take a break, and Champa agrees. Champa looks in a direction where there seems to be nothing, but the camera zooms in all the way to the other side of the galaxy, and we see Beerus World. Champa decides it is about time he paid his brother a visit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and also share the channel, as it would be greatly appreciated. With all that being said, I hope to see you all in the next episode of What If Vegito Stayed Fused?